There's a Norwegian folk tale called The One Who Is Loved by Womankind Will Never Find Himself in Need. It's part of a folktale type about how women liking you is really the best thing in the world. There are three brothers, and the narrator says they don't know how, but each brother got whatever wish they wanted. And the first two brothers wished that whenever they put their hands in their pockets, they would have money. Solid wish. Now, the youngest son is called Askeladd, or the Ash Boy, a common protagonist in Scandinavian folklore. A lot of times he's sort of like a Cinderella character. They bully him because he's foolish or he sleeps in the ashes, but he always ends up being, our protagonist who wins the day. He wishes for all womankind to fall in love with him at first sight. The two older brothers decide to set out into the world, and they're like, we're going to be received as like counts and nobles wherever we go because we have all this money. And the Ash lad wants to go with them, and they're like, ew, no, you're gonna be poor and drag us down. And he's like, just let me go, I'll eat your scraps, I promise I won't be in the way. They first stop at an inn where the two brothers are treated amazingly because they've got lots of money, but the innkeeper's wife falls desperately in love with our Ash lad. Her husband's like, what are you doing? Quit paying attention to him and help the rich guys. She secretly goes to the Ash lad and gives him this magical pair of scissors that if he cuts the air with them, he will cut the finest cloth and the best clothes ever. This repeats 2 more times at 2 more inns. At the next inn, the innkeeper's wife gives him this cloth that if he lays it out, all the best food, anything he wants just appears. The third one gives him a magic barrel with a tap that if he ever opens it, like the finest beer and wine and mead ever will come out. And none of these women try to get with him. They just give it to him because they want to. They say, you just deserve it because you're so wonderful. They get to this kingdom where the older brothers pass themselves off as emperors, and so they get invited into the castle, and Ashlad gets rowed out to an island where they put all of the beggars and tramps because the rich people don't want to look at them. But once our dude's on the island, he takes his magic scissors, his magic cloth, and his magic barrel full of liquor, and he just gives clothes and food and alcohol to all the other tramps, and they have the best party ever. So the guards row out the next day to bring scraps and rotten food to the beggars so they won't die, but none of the beggars want any of the food because they've had their fill of better, and they're all wearing beautiful stuff. And so the guards are like, what's going on? And Ashlad just shows them, I got this magic stuff, sucks to be you. So the guards go report to the king, and the princess hears that there's this guy who has the magic scissors and cloth and barrel, and she's like, I gotta meet this dude. So she has him brought to her. Of course, she falls in love with him immediately as well, and she's like, I will do anything for your scissors. He says, I won't sell them to you, but I want to sleep on your floor tonight. I won't touch you. I won't do anything inappropriate. You can have guards by the door, but that's what I want. And she's like, done. And that night, he sleeps, but she can't sleep because she's just staring at him the whole time. This happens again. She wants the cloth. He's like, I want to sleep closer to your bed. And she's like, cool. The third time, he's like, I want to lie in bed with you. And she's like, yes, granted. Each night has just made her want him more, and so she finally goes to her dad and says, Dad, if you don't let me marry this guy, I'm gonna die. The king says, of course, if you really want him, you can have him. Anyone who has things like that must be as rich as you are. So Ashlad marries the princess, and I love that he does it after just slowly getting closer to her, not taking advantage of her like he could have, or taking advantage of the other women like he could have. I mean, it's magic that makes them fall in love with him, but it's also that he deserves it, that he's respectful, and he respects them and respects their opinion. After they get married, he puts his brothers out on the tramp island because he's royalty now, he can do that. And he says, you can stay there until you decide which is better, a pocket full of money or the love of women. So they go out to the island with money that isn't going to do them any good, and they may perhaps still be eating cold porridge scrapings to this day. But the Ashlad and the princess live happily ever after. As always, check out my book, Dust Spells, where a romantic hero who respects women is super hot and gets what he deserves, and my podcast, links in the bio.